They stepped through the door to find themselves in a wide hallway.
Ah, another hallway.
Junpei, June, Lotus, and Santa stopped for a moment and looked at their surroundings. Duh, we're in jail. A short distance away, a metal crate extended across the width of the hallway.
Come on, open!
It's not going to open because you rattled it, you know.
Damn it!
They took hold and shook, but it refused to move.
Look over here!
Nearby was a pair of elevators.
Elevators. And the buttons? Of course they don't work.
The power must be out here too, just like by the staircase.
The power was out over
That
there?
leaves
Oh,
this door.
that elevator wouldn't work.
Well, looks like we don't have any choice.
Yeah.
Sure does.
Well then, let's open it.
All right, here I go.
Junpei grabbed hold of the knob and quietly pushed the door open. It's a kitchen. A galley, I guess, technically. He entered, slowly, trying to take in as much of his surroundings as he could. The others followed shortly.
Oh, so it's a kitchen.
Santa did not look pleased.
What were you expecting?
Isn't it obvious? The exit? I was hoping this would be the way out of here.
That'd be too easy, buddy.
You really think it'd be that easy?
Yeah, I know. Still.
Thought you hated Hope. As they talked, Lotus headed deeper into the room. Until at last she stood in front of a door.
If we can just get through this door, we should come out on the other side of that grate we saw earlier.
No good.
Sorry, I guess that wasn't very constructive. Neither Junpei nor Lotus looked terribly happy. So I guess it is going to be all the escape rooms, huh?
Anyway, let's take a look.
Sure. Oh, okay, here's the map. Junpei dug the ship map from his pocket and spread it out in front of him. As he did...
Hey!
What's that?
Oh yeah, they didn't know we had it.
Huh? Oh yeah, I guess I forgot to tell you. I found this a little while ago. It's a map of the B deck.
Yeah, that might have been a nice thing to tell them. Hope they don't not trust me now. Before Junpei could finish, Lotus snatched the map away
Let
from
me
him.
see that. I knew it. See? Look.
Yes, hold your horses.
Junpei did as he was told.
What did you figure out?
Santa and June moved over to look at the map as well.
This is handy.
See? We came in here. Now if we go out there, then we'll be on the other side of the grate.
With her finger, Lotus traced a path on the map.
How about
Right,
that?
Right.
She's
Okay.
right. We can get out through there.
There we go. Here, you can have it back.
Satisfied that she had been correct, Lotus folded the map and handed it back to Junpei. Boy, I cannot fold a map to save my life.
Thanks.
There's a card reader on the right side of the door.
And that means the key card is somewhere in here, right?
That seems the most likely.
All right, we know what we need to do then. Let's get moving. First off, I say we split up and look for clues.
Okay.
All right, another one. Let's do this. What's here? A voucher. It says appetizer 9, meat dish 10, soup A, seafood dish F. Those 9 plates look pretty expensive. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, okay. Well, excuse me, princess. This game makes some good references, too, by the way. $15 of those. It's for seafood. Why the hell are you bringing up June? Alright, that's just plates. That doesn't seem too important. Wow, this pot looks like it's made out of silver. Spending a day off with June, drinking tea. Could such a day ever happen for me? Oh, nothing. We don't really need hot water, so we should be moving on. Here we go. Is that cheese? Yeah, I love cheese. Alright, who moved my cheese? Alright guys, time to move it. June and I need to look behind you. There's a little green bottle back there. Ah, some oil. Cooking oil. Make something slippery, eh? This is probably a pantry. Wooden box on the second row, though. Do tell. Aha! I have a knife. Well, that is a rusty knife.
I don't think we'll be able to use it while it's like this.
The knife seemed important, Junpei thought, but it wasn't going to be much use the way it was.
It's futile.
Futile?
You know, a waste, useless, pointless.
Oh. Any particular reason you wanted to bring that up?
Oh, no reason really. I was just thinking about futility.
That's a nice thing to think about.
Huh?
She wasn't making much sense. Again. Junpei tried rephrasing his question.
Why were you thinking about futility?
At last, she answered.
Well, it has something to do with the Titanic.
The Titanic?
Yep.
You probably watched that movie about 5 times, didn't you?
Have you ever heard the story that the sinking of the Titanic was predicted?
No, I haven't. What it...
In 1892, 14 years before the Titanic sank, a novel was published. It was called Futility. It was written by an American novelist named Morgan Robertson.
Somebody Google that and see if it's true.
The story was about a big cruise ship colliding with an iceberg and sinking. Of course, if that was the only similarity, there wouldn't be any reason to mention it. It wasn't, though. The name of the ship, its nationality, course, departure time, size, displacement, maximum speed, number of passengers and crew, the number of lifeboats, even the location of the accident itself, and the cause and the location of the damage. Everything matches the Titanic almost exactly. It was almost as if he'd seen the whole thing happen. But this book was written 14 years before the Titanic sank. But that's not all. It wasn't just futility that predicted the sinking of the Titanic. There were 2 other similar stories written by a man named William Thomas Stead. Both of them before the accident. one in 1886 and one in 1892. Stead wrote 2 stories that had striking similarities to the Titanic disaster. In one, 2 ships collided. Many of the passengers died because there weren't enough lifeboats. In the other, a ship collided with an iceberg and sank.
I don't know. I mean, I'll give you that it seems a little weird, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't too uncommon for ships to hit icebergs back in the day, or even other ships.
Right, I knew you'd say that.
Hmm?
But what if Stead had some sort of special powers? To be more specific, what if he had the ability to do automatic writing?
What? Automatic writing? Wait, are you talking about when someone's possessed by a spirit and then they write a bunch of stuff without knowing what they're writing?
Yes.
What do you mean, yes? That stuff's a load of bull.
But Jumpy, you said you believe in curses.
Come on, that's totally different. Okay, let's say, hypothetically, that automatic writing isn't a total load. These guys still couldn't have predicted the sinking of the Titanic.
Yeah, that's kind of a stretch.
When this Stead dude wrote his thing, nobody had died on the Titanic yet. So if automatic writing is about being possessed by dead people, who the hell possessed him so he could write that stuff?
That's not it.
What's not it?
Stead wasn't possessed by a spirit. He was doing the possessing.
Okay, then I'm really not following.
Oh. What are you smoking?
William Thomas Stead was a passenger on the Titanic. He just wrote down what he saw with his own eyes 20 years before it happened.
We decided it was probably best to say nothing. What June was saying was insane and utterly absurd. If he tried to take what she was saying seriously, he'd go mad. Junpei smiled uncomfortably.
Well, why don't we talk about this some other time, okay?
Huh? But...
Her voice trailed off, and she glanced at the floor, troubled.
Come on, let's get back to it.
Junpei tapped June gently on the shoulder and awkwardly reached around her to pick up the knife from the box. And I've got oil, so why don't I combine them? Well, that's not what I'm supposed to do? Okay. Normally you put oil on rusty things, but whatever. What's over here? There's milk in here. Maybe we shouldn't open it up. Yeah, you've probably got cheese in there, by the way. If it's that old. Okay, it doesn't seem like there's anything else here. Let's back off. Can I... Okay, I can go this way. Are those pizza trays? I love pizza. Oh wait, that's a sharpening board. Yep, a whetstone, so to speak. Maybe I'll use the whetstone to sharpen the knife. Blade of the knife is getting sharper by the second. I should be able to cut something pretty good with this. Oh, that looks much better. Which is right at you, the viewer. Mwahahaha. Alright. Oh, we got a stove over here. Drawer is stuck. Okay. I really like the music in the game too. It's ambiance, but it's also kind of creepy and seems tense. A trash can. There's nothing inside of it. Rolling pin and a colander. Nothing useful. Oh, hello, what's this? It looks like you can enter numbers into this thing. These buttons are for entering a passcode. We don't have it yet, though. I should probably look for some hints before I start messing around with this thing. Yeah, it's not going to just let me guess, is it? Nope, we can't. It's locked. Pot and frying pan. Oh, and a pressure cooker. Well, I guess we could use some of those as weapons. Hey man, it was just a joke. Why so serious? I wonder if they, No, that was right around the time that that movie came out. Never mind. This game came out in either 2009 or 2010. Bottles of seasoning. Not terribly important. There's that. Of course, this is locked. Okay, now I'm back here. So is the code, was there letters? 910 AF? I don't think there were. Nope. Okay, I haven't seen anything to cut. Oh, that's the door we came in through, my bad. All that's out there is an iron gate and a dead-end hallway. Not a lot around here. Except I haven't looked on here yet, have I? No. Oh wait, what's this? Looks like a freezer. I guess that's a no. No dice, but I know what will let it open. Right idea, wrong location. This bolt is rusted in place, it won't budge. Of course, maybe if I put some oil on it. Just a little bit of oil and... Come on. Come on, you little son of a bitch. There we go. As Junpei walked into the room, a blast of cold air washed over him. Yeah, it's a freezer, guys. Almost instinctively, he folded his arms tight across his chest, doing what he could to conserve body heat.
Oh, it's cold in here. What is this place?
Are you blind?
I bet you're cold too, Mr. No Sleeves.
It's a freezer.
Santa's teeth had already begun to chatter. Hardly surprising. The freezer was far too cold for someone dressed as he was. Lotus, however, was in an even worse situation.
Oh,
Yeah.
no way. That's way too cold for me. I'll freeze solid in seconds.
I wouldn't say that.
Sorry, but I'm afraid I'll have to pass on this one. I'm going to leave the rest to you.
And with that, she ran out of the room. As Lotus left, June came in.
Oh, whoa. It's really cold in here.
White puffs of steam hovered in front of their faces as they talked. June had already started to
Hey,
shiver.
you don't need to be in here. You had a fever just a little bit ago. You should stay outside. We got this.
No, I'm fine. My fever's gone now.
But
Junpei had scarcely opened his mouth.
Huh?
What? When the thunderous sound of metal upon metal rang out from behind them. In unison, they spun around to find that the door they had only recently come through was closed. And something leaked there, because look, there's ice. Junpei rushed to the
No!
door.
Why did it suddenly close?
Did they lock us in here? Oh, I wondered if they did that.
Ah!
Desperately, he grabbed hold of the doorknob. It was cold, beyond cold. Merely touching it was painful.
The knob's frozen!
But why?
Because of this. They quickly deduced that the pipe next to the door had
It
ruptured.
looks like the pipe next to it broke, and...
Water released by the rupture had hit the door and frozen instantly. Santa shoved Junpei aside and pounded against the door. Well, this
Hey,
is a predicament.
Lotus! You're out there, right? Open the door!
What do you want? What's going on?
The door won't open! Try opening it from that side, please!
Oh, fine. If you say so. Hold on.
Then the grunting ceased, and they could hear light panting, as if from exertion.
It's no use. It won't budge. You've got more people in there. You figure it out.
Oh,
God damn it.
Santa was shaking like a newborn deer. June was hugging herself and was shivering violently. Even Junpei, with the heaviest clothes of any of them, was clearly feeling the cold. With every breath they took, they could feel the cold working its way deeper and deeper into their bodies.
Anyway, let's find a way out. If we don't get moving, we're gonna be permanent residents.
two heads are better than none. I'm sure we'll figure something out.
Yeah, you're right. Let's just take a good look around this room, okay?
Right.
Gotta be something I can do. They pushed in close to one another and began to search. Water bottle. What's this thing? It looked like a tag of something. Yes, there is. I bet there's a code on there. Yeah, we need to defrost it with that oven. But like they said, we're not doing it here. Everything's frozen in here. Ooh, dry ice. Yes, that's true. Junpei picked up the dry ice with his sleeves so as to avoid burning himself.
Dry ice is just frozen carbon dioxide, right?
Yeah, it is.
I wonder how warm it has to get for it to turn back into gas again.
Hell if I know. How is that gonna help us anyway?
Oh, well, I figured we might be able to use it to get out of here.
They were about to move on when June spoke up.
Carbon dioxide sublimation point is negative 109 degrees. Any warmer than that, and it'll turn into gas. Any lower, and it becomes a solid.
Junpei looked at her, dumbfounded.
Oh, how do you know that?
Despite my looks, I'm the the queen of random knowledge.
Looks bad to mess up when you're showing off. Oh, you're so cold your mouth's going numb?
Yes, that's right.
You're just doing that on purpose, aren't you?
June giggled and did her best to hide her guilt. At least she was still feeling good enough to joke around, Junpei told
Come
himself.
on, guys. Don't you think that's kind of weird? I wonder why it doesn't turn into a liquid first.
Sato was now shivering at an astounding rate, but his curiosity seemed unaffected. Junpei, it did seem rather odd.
It is kind of weird.
June answered.
Oh, but it can turn into a liquid. Oh, carbon dioxide turns to liquid if you put it under high enough pressure. But at 1 atmosphere, normal air pressure...
It won't turn into a liquid, right?
Oh, that's right. Instead of melting, it'll do what's called sublimating and change immediately from a solid state to a gaseous one.
See, that is weird. Water's a liquid between 32 degrees and 212 degrees, so why isn't that the case for carbon dioxide?
There's a kind of ice that doesn't turn into liquid when it goes above 32 degrees.
Hmm?
Huh?
I heard about it. Its melting point is 96 degrees.
Ice with a melting point of 96 degrees?
You mean there's water that freezes at 96 degrees?
Yeah, well, you could also look at it as ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees.
She was talking about that mummy being frozen into the desert. Is that kind of what she's relating it to? Water that freezes at 96 degrees? Ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees? Junpei was cold as hell, but this was too interesting to ignore. He did his best to warm up by rubbing his arms and stamping his feet, then put the question to June.
So what's this ice with a melting point of 96 degrees called?
I heard it's called Ice 9.
Ice 9?
Originally, Ice 9 was a made-up substance invented by a science fiction author. But recently, scientists have discovered that such a substance actually exists.
Wait, hold up. So is this thing called Ice 9, or is it water?
Like I said, if the ice is over 96 degrees, it'll be liquid. If it's under that, it'll solidify. So you could think of it as a polymorph of H2O. Here, think of it like diamonds and graphite. They're both made of carbon, right? But depending on the structure of the crystallization, the hardness and structure are completely different.
So you're saying normal water and this Ice 9 are like that?
Yup.
She wasn't finished.
Have you heard the story about the crystallization of glycerin?
No.
For 150 years after the discovery of glycerin, people cooled it, warmed it. They did all sorts of things to it. But whatever they did, it never crystallized. However, one day in 1920, some glycerin on its way to England by ship was discovered to have crystallized during the trip. Scientists around the world wanted to research this new crystallized form of glycerin and asked for seeds. Oh, a seed is a sample of the original crystallized substance. With a seed crystal, further crystallization of glycerin would be easy. However, something very strange happened. Not only did the glycerin encouraged by seed crystals begin to crystallize, even the samples nearby did, even though they were tightly sealed. And it didn't end there. After that day, it doesn't matter where in the world it is. All glycerin crystallizes naturally when cooled to less than 64 degrees. Before that day, no matter how glycerin was cooled, it refused to crystallize.
Yeah, I don't think I believe that either, but I mean, I could look it up.
But once the crystallization had begun, it was almost like, how do I put it? It was almost like all the glycerin in the world was communicating. Communicating in some way that we can't sense. And now it's happening everywhere.
I was honestly impressed. I was kind of annoyed. It was, in fact, a pretty interesting story.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. But, what does that have to do with Ice 9?
To his surprise, it was Santa, and not June, who answered.
What she's saying is that it's a lot like Ice 9. What happened, I mean.
A lot like? Oh, that would be bad. If water everywhere started freezing at 96 degrees, man.
It'd be the end of the world.
That would be a problem. Junpei felt that Santa might not be treating the idea of the end of the world with the proper concern.
At any rate, we're not gonna have to worry about the end of the world unless we can get out of here pretty damn quick.
He was right. Junpei shivered.
Alright, guys. I think that's enough of that. I didn't think we'd get quite this far off topic. I mean, I know I'm kinda at fault here, but we can't be screwing around anymore. So seriously, I might go by the name Santa right now, but I didn't grow up in Iceland. I freaking hate the cold. So let's get cracking, alright? We gotta find a way out of here.
Santa stomped off, clearly doing his best to pretend the cold wasn't affecting him.
Selfish, isn't he?
No, I mean, he's right. We need to get out of here.
Ice 9 is interesting and all, but we can discuss it more once we get out of this freezer.
Junpei looked at June, nodded, and resumed his search of the room. There's all these weird topics that it's going through so far. Interesting. Water dripping from the pipe. It looks like when the pipe burst, the water hit the doorknob and froze it in place. That water actually seems almost warm. That's what I'm thinking too. Put the dry ice into the water bottle, but it's too big. Oh, I know how. I can use this as a hammer. No? Use that as a hammer? That's weird. Gotta find a way to crush the dry ice. Oh, there we go. It's another one. No, that's not what I meant to do. There we go. Right idea, wrong item. Alright, dry ice is all in pieces now. Combine that with the bottle. Okay, we're almost done here, I feel. Hook that bottle to the doorknob somehow? I get it. That's why I got a rope. Water bottle bomb. Right there. Warm water dripped from the ruptured pipe near the door.
Put water into the bottle with dry ice, and make sure the lid's closed. Now I just have to put this makeshift bomb on the doorknob. Alright, that's set. So, what do we do now?
We just need to give it a little, tap. The bottle's already about to pop. If we just throw a rock or something at it, it'll go...
A small rock. Huh. A small rock.
Scattered across it were pieces of dry ice left over from the larger chunk he'd crushed.
Alright, this ought to do the trick.
Just don't touch it. He pulled his sleeve down over his hand to keep from getting burned and grabbed the chunk of dry ice.
Some dry ice, huh? Not a bad idea.
Thank you. It was a pretty good size. About as big as a pool ball.
Alright guys, stand back. Actually, we should probably hide somewhere.
Yes. Well, Santa and June looked at him with new concern.
Where exactly do you expect us to hide, genius?
The little trunk.
There isn't really anywhere big enough.
Down here.
Yeah, there is. Look, right here. We can hide in there.
Junpei pulled open the door to the small cellar.
Come on, get inside, quick.
We'll make sure that doesn't seal on you, too. Santa and June nodded and jumped down into the hole. Junpei quickly followed. In his hand, he could feel the chill of the frozen carbon dioxide even through his sleeve. He tightened his grip, took aim, and prepared to throw.
All right, here I go. 3, 4, 5.
You're going the wrong way.
You're counting the wrong way.
Oh, oops.
That is a really sad excuse for a joke, man.
Sorry, dude. All right, for real this time. You guys ready?
Yes, whenever you're ready.
Just do it,
Just
please.
throw the
All right, here I... 3, 2, 1.
Junpei threw the chunk of dry ice as hard as he could. With the same motion, he ducked down into the cellar with Santa and June, just as... Kaboom!
Jumpy! The ice on the door! Is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone.
The blast must have shattered it.
Yes. All right.
The door gave way easily, and all three of them tumbled out of the freezer at once.
Hooray! We're out!
June, relieved, collapsed onto the floor.
Move!
Santa shoved past Junpei and ran straight to the grill, which he immediately grabbed.
Oh, god damn it! Hot, 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 hot! Fuck!
Out of the ice machine and into the fire. He proceeded to kick the grill in a futile but amusing fit of rage.
Well, you did just grab the grill. What did you think would happen? Hey, where's Lotus?
Question. It took Junpei only a moment to find her. She was sitting on the counter, idly scratching her chest.
Ooh, welcome back. I was starting to get tired of waiting for you guys.
Don't act all worried or concerned, please. With a great yawn, Lotus lowered herself off the counter. Junpei clenched his teeth and walked toward her.
What were you doing?
What do you mean, what was I doing? I was waiting.
We were gonna die!
Oh, yeah? But you didn't. So everything worked out all right, didn't it?
What the hell?
Just kidding. It might not look like it, but I was really worried.
It does not.
Oh, don't give me that crap.
I'm telling the truth. I mean, if you died, then I'd be in trouble too. If you died, then I'd be stuck here, and I'd die too. See? I did all I could. I even looked around to see if there was anything I could use to pry open the door. But I couldn't find anything.
You couldn't find anything in a kitchen?
So, all I could do was wait. I mean, what else did you want me to do? Call the cops?
It was true there wasn't much she could have done, but something about her tone. Junpei gritted his teeth.
Fine. But there's one thing I have to ask you.
What's that?
You didn't close the door, did you?
What? You think I closed the door on you? Why would I do something like that? It closed on its own. I told you before, if you die, then I die too.
Yeah, I guess so.
Seemed that an accident was the only explanation for the door's closure.
If she had really wanted to kill us, all she had to do was bar the door from the outside. But she didn't. Well, she didn't do anything. She's only lazy, or negligent at least, not an attempted murderer.
I still don't trust you. Junpei swallowed his anger and did his best to apologize.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I doubted you.
Oh, yes, well that's all right. As long as you understand.
Lotus looked away and twirled her hair between her fingertips. His vengeance against the grill complete, Santa swaggered back toward Junpei and Lotus.
Hey, no more screwing around, you two. Break time's over. Especially for you, lady. You've just been sitting on that fat ass of yours while we were freezing to death.
How rude! I was plenty busy.
Yeah. How about you put all that energy into something besides bitching? Let's go.